Hey, and welcome back to Oakley Hour and our continuation, day 5 now, of Molly Flower Shop. Or Molly's Garden, I think it actually is. I was reading this label. Anyway, so the place where the lights decide whether they don't want to work. They have a mind of their own right now. So I said yesterday that I had finished this side. I lied. I had forgotten the very important backing piece, so we're going to get straight on with doing that. And I hope you guys are all doing wonderful. So, got to make sure when you do this, which is something that I hadn't done but I've rectified it, is this is pushed in enough, because you want the plate to go on like so, but then this will go in so that you can change the battery. Although I have a feeling before I secure that what I want to do is lift this plate from this board so that it can be moved. So I don't think I was meant to have stuck that down. Let me go and rectify that. Okay, so I have loosened this, otherwise these lights are staying on now. I wonder if I'd pinched a wire or something. Maybe. Maybe that was the fix that it needed. Yeah, still on. Probably threw that battery away for no reason. Right, so let's get on and do this. So make sure that that plate is not stuck down as much as I did, and I'm just using wood glue for this. And because I don't know what glue I used to put that battery thing down, but anyway, I managed to get it off, so it's not too bad. And like I say, so you want to make sure that this is in enough, this piece of wood, and that this is loose, because otherwise you will not be able to change the battery. So you can see mine's very loose now. You can see, so all you saw was my hand. Right, so we want to make sure that it lines up with the sides. Can't believe I said we were complete and I'd forgotten this very important factor. And then, let's see if I can find something to get this out with. There we go. So hold that there a second just for the wood glue to take. And then this piece, which is on here, just slips on. You don't glue this down. And I can see that this needs pushing a little bit more this way. I don't think it got caught. I'd hope not. So I just want it to be loose, and then this will go on, and you can manipulate it to make sure that the button goes through there a bit better than how I have it right now. There we go. And that this is pushed all the way down. So again, I'm just pushing it in place right now to make sure it goes on. Okay, something like that. So whether it's staying or not, it's a whole other story. I'm going to clamp this actually. I think I'll clamp it with it in there to make sure it all pushes down. Let me go grab clamps and we will move on to making a bike for this section here. This second one here. Right, and those clamped down, so I'm just going to let that sit there for a little bit and pray I'm not putting too much pressure on this side, which I might be. I might have to, yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to re-stick that, but that's okay. That's a very, can't see that, could you? That's a very small, minor problem to have. Alright, so wheelbarrow. Now this is where the problems came in. Okay, first of all, lots of little pieces we will be needing. So one of them is that we are creating a wheelbarrow. Let me get these paper elements out, and the plants and the plant pots. So we have some very tiny, very delicate wood pieces like this to build it. This one broke, so it's glued, but I'm not too worried because of how it's going to go on the base, which is this piece here. The edges don't need colouring if you are colouring things. Because it's all going to be covered, and these two sides are fine, difficult to file, but they're fine, and the handlebars are fine. This tiny little piece here are handlebars. However, this piece was doom and gloom, So let me get my tweezers and I can show you what I mean. So this one had a few breaks in it, and this is from the bike front to where the handlebars go on. So it attaches to the bike like this, and this is it. So it had a break here and also down here. So what I did was I attached a piece of paper on the back, and I coloured it green, roughly to match, as close as I could get. Then I also went over the front with the same marker, so that it gave it some sort of support on the back, and hopefully that will be good enough for our purposes. So let's get and do that first. Get a little bit of greaseproof paper here, don't need a big piece. So we are going to need our wheels. So you have two smaller ones and one big wheel, and just get you guys all out of the way. Got lots of little purple dots all over the show here. So first things first. Oh, and you lost a piece there. So let me get some of this cleared up already. So first things first, we are going to put the sides on and the wheels and the ends, and this is where our plants will go in. So it's coloured on both sides, and I'm actually going to use I think I'm going to use super glue. Let me see if I've got any of my better super glue. Hold on. And I do. So what I'm going to do is might get myself another piece of greaseproof paper. Actually, this one wants to be very bendy. Hold on. I'll set up in a minute. Alright, that's a bit better. So because this is a new super glue pot, it does come out quite fast. So being I'm only going to need a little, I'm just going to put a dab on there. And this is my preferred one, so, and start with a tiny bit going across here. Maybe I should hold this in tweezers and it'll save me sticking to it. Maybe, she says. Okay, and turn this over. You kind of want it, this is where the wheel's going to go into, so you want it to be somewhat, not at the top, not at the bottom, maybe actually a bit more towards the bottom. Yeah, let's match it up with the bottom, I think would be fine. So like so. That's fine. And then we put the damaged one on last. I'm going to put these two sides on, which are going to go on here, and again just going to match it on the side here. Because what we're doing is we're creating like a wheelbarrow flower cart. Still stuck to it. You know, whenever I watch these videos and people doing them, they always look like they make them so simple. Gosh. I can't remember which side I put the glue on now, mate. Let's assume it's there. So something like so. I actually don't know if it is that side that I put it on. Memory and all that. I love memory. So you want it that the pattern is on the outside. I could have coloured the top, couldn't I? But hey. It's a small thing, like so. A bit more super glue, I think, into my bendy piece of paper. And let's put some on here. Quite big blob, isn't it? Get you. And again, make sure your pattern's outside, like so. And upright would be good. Okay. So far so good, folks. I'm assuming you can see that okay. I could scroll in a bit closer, but then it tends that when I do that, it's all you see is my bloody hands, because I forget where the camera is. Okay, then our little dodgy part, I just put my hand straight in that super glue. Maybe not use that one. Okay, and then put our rather worn looking one, which funny enough will look away. You can see it's not secured at all, but I think for what we're doing we'll be okay if I can get it in. Why don't you stay like that, and we'll pick up the whole thing. Like so. And that should help stabilize it as well. So this is the part that, like I say, had got really quite damaged. I mean, this is not perfect, to say the least, really, but it is okay. Okay, let me give that a second, and then we'll put the smaller wheels in, 2 small ones, one each side. Okay, so we will try and get this wheel on. Don't get my glue. That's one, and the other small one. I mean, you could use wood glue as well if you wanted. I mean, personally, I'm not that keen on using super glue, but here we are. And then while I'm at doing wheels, this piece that I mended has a wheel here, the bigger wheel. So it's like a little tricycle. Like so, I say. Okay, and I'm going to give that a second to take and straighten up my wheels, because I've gone a bit bandy looking on the inside here. And a bit more. Right, we want to get more than the wheelbarrow done today, right? Okay, getting that sorted, waiting for that to dry, and I will be back in a tick. Okay, so then we take our little wheel that did not stick to here, so that didn't work, did it? Let's try that again. It's got hair on it too. Maybe they weren't touching. Okay. Let me move that out the way of the super glue. Make it dry a bit quicker. So on here we will then, it's kind of cute, isn't it, be putting some flower pots. So this one needs a label on. This silver one here needs a label on. We also need a sign, which I believe is this one. Need to check which ones are which actually. The sign is that one. Yep, this one goes on the pot. Then we have these other pots to put in as well. So let's get these on these. Well, not that one. The one I grabbed, you know. Let's get this one done. Here, go back in for a second, mate. And we'll also pop this one on. And then we're doing 2 very small plants as well. And most of it we put the green in, and then we just add plants as and when. So let me just make sure. Yeah, so let's get this one on first. Let me get that cut out. Okay, we have it when I can pick it up. And I think I'm just going to dunk this in that little bit of super glue that's left. And turn it around and put this on like so. I don't know which way around it goes, I can't read it. I am sure if you guys have better vision than me, well, you know, we want it higher because it's going to go that way anyway. So let's try that again. You watch me stick to it now, guaranteed. Okay, not too bad, and that goes in. So let's get some glue in here, and we'll put little pots in, and then we'll add the greenery and stuff afterwards with then the little plants. So I'm just going to put a dollop in here, get this sitting stable, just using beacon on this. I had to check myself what I was using. So we want the other side to show, so I'm going to do it this way, not like that. We have this here. You will go in, my friend. Maybe put you a bit towards the back actually. It's a very small cart for this size of pots, isn't it? Got some manoeuvrability in here. Okay, and then here we still have a flower thing to do. Need to speed up. That's what I need to do. And one of these little ones in here when I pick it up, like so. And then the other one, I did have two, which has gone missing. Oh, we go with this one. I'll have a look. Sorry, puppies are playing. Okay, I'm just hiding down underneath the little bit of paper that I've been using for my super glue. And I'm going to put this one here. Then I'm going to cut that out, and that one leans against the silver pot here. Let's put that a bit more in the corner. So let me get this one cut. Alright, so and that can just, there's still some glue there I think. Although I've probably got a little bit on here. Let's grab that. Whatever we can grab. So we don't want it particularly covering up that silver pot either. It's okay, it doesn't want to let go of my tweezers. Oh, it was in a really good position to go down there then too. Let's grab some of that. Alright, tweezers. Let's see, I miss my nails right now. They will grow again, right? Just take a little bit of time. It's going to be upside down if I did that. So something like so. There we go. Okay, so like this. So those are ready. Is this ready now? Yeah. And this will go on the front. Trying to get it how it's going to go in the cube. So we want this side showing non-damage, so we're going to put it on the front here. So I'm just going to line it up and prop it up with something and put it on here. Let me find something to do that with. Right, the foil looks as good a thing as any, so let's pop a bit of P7000 on it. And then all we got left to do is put the plants in and do the handlebars. But I am going to give this a few minutes to take, rather than try and touch it too soon, in which case then we're bound to have a disaster. So I'll pop this on here. Over the edge, and it should, famous last words, but it should work out just fine. Right, let's give that a few minutes and we should be okay to put the handlebars on, then start putting the flowers in, which should all be quite straightforward to do. It's just a lot of green, some purples and some pinks and stuff like that. So right, I will be back in a mo. Alright, let's see what we got. Well, it's not 100% guys, so let's not try and mess with it too much. Oh, my little label fell out, how rude. Guess it wasn't enough glue in there. Okay, try and move that pot a bit. Right, I am going to put these handlebars on, which go on the way they're facing right now. I can't imagine this being overly easy to do. Let's get this out of the way. Got glues all over the place, scissors all over the place, tidy up my area. And go with a little bit of super glue on top here. See if I can do a tiny drop out. It was a tiny drop, I'm not sure it'd be enough of a tiny drop. Like I say, this was my recovery. Really. Oh, that kind of works. Okay, and let's get this little label back on. And then I have all the plants ready to do. So now I've got this out, let's see if I can repeat the process for just having a small amount. Because it is a new one, and the new ones do tend to give quite well. From the top. There we go, that's a bit better. Right, now I'm going to leave this to one side. I have to go out very soon, so I think that'd be a good time for this all to dry. Then we can come back and get our flowers. Now, we're not meant to necessarily have blue ones, by the way, on this, but there are quite a few. So I was thinking I could put one in. I can sneak one in there, but I do want this to dry to stabilise a little bit better than it has. I mean, I'd like this to stabilise better for sure, the wheel. But it doesn't look so bad, does it? For a catastrophe that happened, it looks alright. I'm quite happy with the recovery from this. So let's leave that for the moment. I could actually, before I go out, why don't we pop you, come with me. Put you on this piece of paper. Here we go. You go all the way over there, out the way. Alright, why don't we get on and do the next one, would make sense, which is the bookshelf flower stand. Basically it's a flower rack, they call it, which does have a lot of items going on it, but we can make a start on it and hopefully get a lot of it done today, but we will see, because there's a lot of bits that need making for it too. So let's do the main frame anyway. Main frame. Alright, and this is what we have for this frame. So this frame is, or a, what do they call it? A flower rack, is jam-packed with stuff. So I'm going, I think, to do it with super glue. Do I want to do it with that? Yeah, I think so. And these go on the ends like so. Just double checking myself rather than sitting on it. Yeah. So I'm just going to put a little bit of super glue on where I can. And then put the shelves in. So just try and match up, there's lines on these sides. So on here, or rather you can see it better on this one, on here, you just want those to line up with these lines, which are going to be where the shelves go. So, oh, big blob. Where's my little stick gone? Wrong little stick. Right, let's find another one. Oh, it's on my lap. How on earth could it fall on my lap? But it did. So we'll put our shelf in. So there's 3 shelves altogether. This is the first. Like so. And then the second, and then this can, even though it's super glue, it still does take a moment to dry. This one's my preferred one, by the way. So I'll show you in a sec. Let me get this one on and I'll show you before I do the last one. And I've used this for, gosh, pretty much, not since I started modelling. I think it was when I did the Disney Doll's House that I realised there was such a product. So it wasn't straight away. Of course, the side which had been on here. Right, this is the one I use, so Loctite super glue. Let's get this better in your view anyway. And why I like this, it's a gel, in comparison, is where you put the blob of super glue is generally where it will stand. It will stay, it won't run like normal super glue, it will run into spots and things like that. And this will not do that. That end could have done with being a bit better. It's so fragile, even though I did sand it down, I can honestly say I probably didn't give it as much. Well, this is a very crooked shelf, isn't it? There we go. Then all we have to do is put the side on. So again, just a little bit on here. And the super glue, I mean, it doesn't last forever either, it goes quite quick. But I tend, if you've ever seen any of my channels before, I tend to be quite sparing with my super glue just because I'm, other than dropping it, generally not that great with it. And there we have our flower rack. Don't know how straight that is, but we have it. Legs are longer at the back than the front, but it's okay. This is going to go against the wall. This is actually going to go against this wall here. So then there are, every shelf is pretty much chock-a-block on this one with different things. So we will be filling this up. So let's get that going on better. I can see why, look, when it came out the form, this one got a bit out of shape. That's okay. It is going against a wall. We'll be fine. Alright, I'm going to let both this and my little cart dry a bit better. Go and do my errands. And then I will be back to, hopefully, I'd like to say finish both of these off, but I don't know. Certainly get this one done. And make a start hopefully on this one, but we've done the frame and that's a start. Alright, I will be back in a little bit. Alright, so this has now taken, not 100% sure how straight those shelves are, but it is together and this is much more sturdy. So let's get on and pop these things in. So first of all, we want green in the 2 little ones here and the big one, but not this tall one. So this one over here gonna have quite a bit of green in. So let's, so I think I'm going to use this piece actually because it's much prettier, and do it from down here and maybe shove it in upside down, maybe the right way, maybe something like that, maybe a bit less on here. We'll put it in and then see what we're with. Okay, couldn't find my glue. Put it away and I don't know where. Alright, so let's put it in here and we shove our greenery in. And I think that'd be okay like that actually. So this one, admit, but these two small ones you need a little bit of green, and as you can see by the size of them, when they say a little, they are talking of a little, because you ain't going to fit a lot in there. And one on here, and this just has flowers on top, these two little ones. So I'm just going to see if I can get it in the hole, but if not, it's just going to sit on top. I don't think I'm going to get that in the hole for the... I think it'd be fine on top. And then let's see if I can get a reasonable sized bunch from here. Maybe this top one. And something, if I fold it in half, that make it be a bit more bunchy. So, although it's not in the pot, it will have the same effect. Okay, now we are going to take some purple, and we are putting in a sprig, it thinks, in here. And it kind of has it, oh I see, like this one, it's got several very skinny strands, so you kind of want those in there. Not sure how many we're going to get in, but let's see what we can do. If I hook them all together, we might be able to get some in. We got some, not all. If I turn it to the back, you may not see those. So it's going to be something like so. And probably can put another lot in. Even if it's only sitting next to it, it's going to have the same desired effect, where it's looking like it has a bunch on there. And this one is actually almost done, which is good. Right, so I think those look alright actually. What do you think? I know you're a bit far away. Can't focus. Okay, and then with the ones the bigger one, which we put green in, we are going to give that some roses. I'm inclined to give it a little bit more green here, make it a little bit more bushy. So put some on top of there, maybe this piece, so it looks a bit fuller. Puppy's got something she shouldn't. She had my hair bound, how rude. Okay, and then on this big one we are going to use these ones and cut them into like rose shapes, similar to what we did before. So let's get that underway. Now she's stolen a Kleenex. She'd be my monkey. It's because I went out. She's like, no, I'm going to punish you for going out. So something like that. Get those in. See if we can get them in there. Okay. And one or two more. Just this one. I like this idea of making them look a bit like roses. I don't think particularly that first lot I just did, but principle's there. I'm not sure this one will either. Come here. She's so used to me taking Kleenex off her that I think she's very confused as to why I haven't jumped up to do so. Because I think it's become a game to her. Let's put it that way. That's what I think. Maybe one down here if I can stop it from pinging. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's gone there. That's not quite what I had in mind. Come here. So it's still not very stable, as you can see. I think I just broke that. Let's try not to touch it again. And a little bit on the top here. Like so. I seem to always call you, I've got a school near me, when the kids are all out playing. But it's good to hear them all happy, isn't it? You can tell it's a junior school, or young or infant. They're all happy. If they're all adults, they'd be all in their phones, I'm sure. Although don't schools take them away from them now, that they're not allowed to be on their phones constantly. Okay, and then with these ones down here, we are just having a little bit of this pink. So again, try and get some of this glue in there. And the nice things about the 4000 is it does dry clear. So maybe this sprig of 3 on here. And oh, that's a bit big, isn't it? My son's dog was actually allowing her shock collar to clean her. This is progress. And something like that. And that's what we end up with. So that is done. Right, let me put this, clean up this glue, and we will make a start on the next thing. So I think that looks okay. It looks alright. I mean, we could do with maybe putting a bit of greenery in the back without being in a pot, but that is it. So let's start on this bookcase and see how far we can get. Just before I do that, I told you I'd put some blue on there so it didn't feel left out. So maybe I could put some on the back there. Where's my green? Let's pop a bit of green on there. It's not very bushy green, all down here. Let's put some on the back, sorry. I know you were waiting for me to start the other one, but it was a sudden thought that I had said I was going to do that. And then I was putting it away and it was like, ooh, I didn't touch that blue. So I know it doesn't have a pot, but let's get this on here. Like so, if it let go of me. There we go, got a bit of extra colour in there. Alright, now I'm going to get ready. Okay, so let's see if we can get this one done. Well, you can try and squeeze in another one. Okay, so this, and I've left it out separate on purpose, otherwise I would forget which one it was, is going to go straight on the shelf. Like so. So what I've done is put a bit of tacky on there to dip things into, and going down on the side. So let's see if I can fold it like that. Of course, if you folded it before you did it, it might have been easier, but we didn't. I didn't. Okay. Alright, so that's that. Next is we have the other one, which looks like it, going to go on the back of, not this, going to go on the back of this, like so. This is going to have just a couple of things stuck to it. This one's going to be folded over and then cut out. I thought I felt that it was a cuttable, but it's not. And this one is folded in half, and then we have another one which is going to be a picture frame, and then we come onto the tiny pieces. So let's see what I can do. Let's maybe do it this way, and I'll get the things folded on off camera. I'm sure you don't really need to see that. And so as you see, I haven't put much glue on. The aim is that we are going to spread it for the frame. That's the aim. Just played ball with the dogs, so they should be happy. I'm worn out. I mean, they might be fine. Right, that can go to one side. That's ready to go on the shelf. Alright, let me get the rest of these folded and things like that, and once this one's folded and dry we can cut it out, so I will get that done too. Okay, those are all done except for that cutting out one. This little, which is a separate one by the way, it doesn't belong, it's not to do with the rack that we've done there. So let's see, what we need is this log, and that's going to go in there. They call this a radio. You got me, I don't know. So that's going to go in there, and it's going to have something sitting on top of it that we have to make. Okay, I'm seeing if the dogs are going to settle, because I can hear a little bit growling going on. And that one goes in here, hopefully upright. It wasn't the little one that if there was growling going on, which then just come in. Okay, so those are like so. And that's a radio, and that's going to have a basket sat on top of it, which we will get done in a moment. It's too long for it, but hey, it is in. Oh, they got it at a slight angle. Can I do that? Probably. Can we do it at an angle? So something like that. It's still going to point out. Right, these two can actually go straight onto the frame, as can this one. And we need another bead, actually, which I know I haven't brought, to go on top of that little newspaper thing we did. So let me go grab that bead and get that done. Okay, so before I do that, I'm going to put this one in first because it's on the same shelf. This just needs a bit of glue on the back of it. Well, now tacky on there, aren't I? Hopefully I have enough in there. And this goes in here, and that's going to have flowers sitting on it. So the fact that you put paper on it is here or there, but at least this does somewhat get seen, this whole thing. I don't think I'm going to have enough for this. Let's put a bit more tacky on there. There we go. Because we're going to need it for some other bits too. So let's put you on. You know, let's grab a bit of that. Of course. Okay, so it's in like that now, which is how they want it. It will dry clear. This is done except for a basket. These two can now go in as well, and you have, again, these you're not going to see much of, so they didn't need sticking together, they just needed to be in, but if they are stuck together it's not going to make a difference anyway. Get that under here. And again, this has flowers kind of in front of it, so you're not going to see too much of this either. And the same with this one, but more into the other corner. like so. And that's those done. Then I will cut this out and make these things and put some flowers on it, and this is done. Okay, and we will put this in as well. So this just goes on the top here, like so. So those can be drying while we get on and do the next lot of stuff. So there's 2 containers to make. One is round and one is oblong. So these are the 2 bases. This is the handle for the oblong one, and this is the oblong one, I think. Can't remember now. I think it is. So all we're going to do, let me find a stick. I can use the other end of this, can't I? To wrap it around. And we want it just meeting up here. We don't want it all the way, but that just helps to give it a little bit of shape. Well, that would be good if it was on the inside, not the outside. Like so. Basically you're going to want an oval, and we don't want it to dry too much because we want to put the base on, which is this. And then because it's a basket, it is also going to have a little handle which is tiny. Tacky glue is pretty good for doing this sort of thing because it's tacky. Okay, and that is going to have some baskets on and a handle, but we'll put the flowers in first before putting the handle on. We'll put half the handle on, maybe I'll do that quick. So it's like a bit like a picnic basket. So something like so. And that could be drying for a second. It's not going to get long to dry. Okay. And now we're going to do the same with this one, except it's going to go round a little more because this is the base of this one here. So you can see it's going to be quite a bit smaller. So I'm just going to wrap that around the stick here. Oh, so I drop it. And it's going to be about the size of the stick, isn't it? I was using the stick that I want to wrap it around. Should have just gone and got another stick in reality, but I didn't. And a bit more. I think it's going to be too big. I think we need to go smaller. We'll see. Okay. A little bit of glue on the bottom. Oh, it's okay. Okay, and that can go one side. And that's going to want flowers too. And this one, actually the basket, so maybe we'll do that, is going to sit on top of this unit. So this unit's going to be like this. Well, I just poked the bottom out and it undid. Almost use the tweezers in the glue. Totally missed the piece of paper that I'm trying to get. Under my eyes for a second and hold it with the tweezers. Okay. Okay, and what we are going to do is put this basket on top of this unit at an angle, of course. That wasn't very straight, was it? So I don't think there's particularly a right and wrong way really on this. I mean, you've got an edge here, but you're going to be hiding a lot of that. So it's going to go something like that, and then we're going to top it up with some flowers. And that will pretty much be this done. Got a little picture to put on, but now we're just waiting on that to dry a little bit. Get some flowers in there and some berries, and it will be a done deal. Okay, on to the flowers. So this little pot first. Ooh, it's gone. It's gone. We'll go up here. This is going to be another long video, you know. I'm sorry, guys. It seems much more involved than certainly I initially thought it was. So we want this little pot. The seam towards the back. It says no. It doesn't understand. I said yes. And that's going to have some flowers in one tick. And then this whole thing is going to have flowers. Then also I'll put our picture in now, and it is the red part down, like so. Looks alright. Move this over maybe a tad. Okay, right, let's get this done. So it's not going to stand up, is it? Right, so we're going to need all the colours we have. We need a bit of blue and a bit of purple on this second shelf, green on this bottom one, a little bit of purple, so, but no, a little bit of green as well. Let's get this green done. My scissors. So first of all, let's get the, ooh, might be enough tacky left in that one. And a little bit of green over here and in the pot. Okay, so let's get some of this going. Now that I've got glue all over me again, let's get that in the pot. That's a nice sprig. A stick. Need more than that in there. Okay, and that will have some pink flowers on. A little bit of green just drapes in, which could be you. That's going to go there. It's probably almost big enough, to be honest with you, that little piece. Then one going across here, go in there. A bit more, guys. Oh. Well, that wasn't meant to happen. Something like so. Then on the bottom here we need green on both of the sides basically. Like I say, there is some tacky on the bottom as well. I mean, really, you're not going to see much of these pictures by the time this is done. Get some other tweezers. I think those are pretty much gluified, like so. And one more piece. It's stuck to me. It's humid today, so things are sticking to places they shouldn't. And one over this side, something like that. Okay, now flowers wise, You know what? Let's get some green in this one while we're at it. We're going to be playing with the green stuff. So on here, let's get a bunch of this. Not this one. Well, actually, this one's probably fine. Some point in that direction, and some in here. So it's something like so. Okay. I could do with a bit more, don't you? It's looking a little bit on the scarce side. I thought I'd cut it and I haven't. I'm not good enough anyway. Wow. Just pick up the bits. There's plenty of them. And this one last, and now we'll do the flowers, and then we will be done for the day. But it does mean that we do stand. I am not promising that we may complete tomorrow. Okay, so put that down. Right, first of all, we need some blue, and the blue is just going to, the only place we need it is on the middle shelf here, in front of that picture, in here. And we also need a little bit of purple. Well, it's got splodgy. It's the only place for the blue, so blue can go away, which was handy because it attached to me anyway and was on the way. The purple is kind of different stuff. Well, it's definitely different stuff. It's like all individual on wires, really. And those go kind of towards the top so that you don't really see the tray underneath it. Let's see if we can make it that we can see a bit of the tray. Otherwise, what was the point? Okay, we can leave it like that. Then pink-wise, we need some of these in this one and in this one. So let's get this one done first. It's going on the bottom shelf. Like so. Again, don't see the pictures much. Then these have the light roses on, but another bunch of this goes on this one, the basket. Let's find a reasonable one. It's weird stuff, this. It's polystyrene, but it's kind of weird. It's a nice big piece. Put it down here, put another blob here. So I need both of those done. So this will be here. And then we will need the purple back for this. That's too big, isn't it? Let's get you in there, mate, and then we'll give you a trim. Might not stand much chance. really need that, so on with the purple again. And that's going to go in here. Off me. So something like so. Leave that to dry and then we can put that lid back on. And then the only other one is to do some sort of roses up here and put the handle on the basket. And this will be done. That glue needs sorting again before the lid gets stuck on like it did last time. So let's see if we can make them almost into roses. I think that's a pretty good bunch really, actually. Okay, I'm going to stick these in like so. Like so. Like so. And poke those in the top. Okay. Alright, that is our bookcase done. Our flower stand, and the only thing we have left to do here is to do our crooked handle. So I have put the lid on this glue, but I need to clean it before it gets stuck. But let's put this on before. And our very crooked handle can go over if it fits. Ooh, may not. So something like so. It's because the pinks were too big. Okay, I'm going to hold that a second. Alright, I will tidy that up in a moment. Alright, so that is, okay, didn't take long to do. This is kind of what we have. So we have our flower basket, that's a separate thing. We have our flower case, which is still very wet, which is here. And we have our tricycle with flowers on the back. So that's 3 parts, and those all go in the middle section, but they are done. So that's kind of cool. Alright, so thank you very much for watching. Tomorrow I do have hopes that we might finish. Can't guarantee, but I do have hopes. So do please tune in then. Any comments are appreciated. And please do like and subscribe. It does enable me to keep bringing you more content like this. And I have some really cool things coming up for the channel. But yeah, most of all though, and it is the most important thing, take care of yourselves. Take care. Bye-bye.